Hello and welcome back to Plants vs. Zombies. What the hell? We're on the roof now.
Hey, this isn't Sonic.
This isn't Sly Cooper either. This is Plants vs. Zombies.
Is it Assassin's Creed?
No, I just told you it's Plants vs. Zombies. You can't even... There's no hay bales.
Right.
So you can't really safely jump off the roof and not damage yourself. Anyway, I'm...
Well, I mean, there's a pool.
No,
is there
but we
not?
do have Tom Cruise, zombie.
Yeah, there's a pool, but it's not a hay bale.
No, but everybody knows in video games a pool is it blocks all it disables fall damage. Right? You can survive any fall as long as you fall into the water.
Well, no. That's not how that works. Anyway.
It works in video games.
Not in this one. Anyways, and speaking of video games, this one. Well, last episode we just got the cabbage pult is what this one is called. It catapults it catapults cabbages at other zombies, especially when it's when the layout is at a very sharp, quote unquote sharp angle that it's on.
Can these flower pots break?
The flower pots are essentially like another way of planting plants onto it, because there's no dirt on rooftops naturally. So
Well, you clearly haven't seen my Minecraft house.
Yeah, but Victor's asking, do they work similar to the lily pads from the pool levels?
yes, actually.
So
But
they can break.
Yeah, they can be eaten just like the lily pads.
And once they're eaten, you cannot.
You can't. Once they're eaten, you can't get them back.
Okay. So that's quite interesting. You can actually lose tiles to place units on in these kinds of levels.
Indeed. But don't get used to that. It'll change. It'll pretty much change after this level. Spoilers.
Okay.
So
It's really weird that the cabbages are just throwing cabbages at enemies.
how so?
I feel like they should be throwing like explosives or something.
I mean,
Well, what if the cabbage is explosive?
No,
No.
it's not explosive.
Or
It's not
what
explosive.
if the cabbages give the zombies explosive diarrhea?
you know, cabbages aren't lactose intolerant. That makes no sense. Actually, no, lettuce.
Well, there goes the sunflower.
I mean, cabbage doesn't really like give you IBS or anything. I would hope not.
I mean, I do know there's some vegetables out there that really make your guts churn. But I feel like that's not the scope of this channel. Like, we are not by any means medical professionals. Well, these guys are not. I am. Take all my medical advice.
Take all my medical advice very seriously, because I am a
No.
real doctor.
No.
Just don't ask about my opinion of
Okay,
vaccines.
okay. I was about to say, ask your doctor about Ozempic or some shit.
Let's not go there.
No.
Zombies are back.
Yes. And that zombie that just came down and stole the sunflower, yeah, that's another zombie. They swoop down from the the sky, and they take your flowers away.
And
Is there
bad
a-
touch the flowers.
Is there a way of killing them?
Yeah, just like any other flower, just like any other flower in the game. But
But they have to actually be going for a spot that can be shot at.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And there goes 7,500 dollars down the drain. because all I had to do was buy rooftop grazers, which are these levels lawnmowers, thankfully. So yeah, we can now.
So you don't upgrade the seeds again.
What do you mean? Like what?
You don't get a new seed packet.
No, I don't really do that.
Okay.
At least not in this playthrough, not in adventure mode anyway.
Okay.
So yeah, we now have I can't fucking speak. I stutter like shit. We now have flower pots, which yeah, we don't have to resort to like surviving with like a limited amount of pots on your field. No, you can just plant them. You can just put plant pots down.
Yeah.
So the stakes have never been lower.
I mean, they weren't really that low to begin with.
Yeah, but this just makes it even more so.
So what, would you say that this takes the gameplay to the roof? Is that even a saying, to the roof?
I mean, it's through. I think you mean through the roof.
Probably, yeah.
These charts are through the roof. And yes, you would, honestly.
Right. You know, I'm still like mentally recovering from like this major shift in logic. Like, I'm not saying that I didn't figure that the scenery would change, but I just thought we'd be going to a different garden.
No,
or like a really big balcony. But no, the game just said, "Fuck it, we're putting you on the roof."
Yeah, the game takes place at your house. And when they mean at your house, the game was not the game was not kidding.
What was that pause about?
It was I misclicked off the window.
Okay.
I mean, I can tell you right now that there's no way this would be my house. Like, this house has a swimming pool. I'd be glad if I just get a fucking house. All right, it's pretty clear that this is an old ass game.
Yeah, 2009.
I mean, 2009. That was during the financial crisis, so I guess housing market was already kind of fucked.
But at least you could get a house. No, I'm just kidding. No, you couldn't have at that time.
Yeah. I mean, we live in an age where we cannot really own anything anymore. So we just rent, we subscribe. That's basically it. We're in a big ass subscription to live. Where nothing lasts forever.
Unless you sail the seven seas, but we're not advocating for that.
How do you pirate a house?
I would.
It's called squatting.
I would pirate a house legally if it was possible.
It's called squatting.
Yeah.
Is squatting legal in the US?
No. It is very not. It's essentially just breaking and entering.
Trespassing.
It's trespassing. It's literally trespassing.
All right. No, because we have a law here where if you can show that you've been squatting somewhere for a extended amount of time, you can legally consider that to be your your property. So if a venue has just been abandoned for a long time, so that's why a lot of companies, when they move to a different location and they are unable to sell the old office building, they kind of just put that on sale in an attempt to actually stop this from happening. So it's kind of like anti-squat. They would be the translation.
Hey, we don't want
Kind
you
of
to be
interesting.
So the Dutch government is like, we don't want people to be homeless. Let's put them in houses.
Yeah.
And I wish the Canadian government was like that. Oh wait. Never mind.
But
Never
look,
mind.
the-
I'm not gonna get
look,
into that.
Look, the point is, you would not download a house.
You wouldn't download a car either. Not by that logic.
And I would like to remind everybody that like infamous anti-piracy like advertisement thingy,
I
the
was gonna
song
mention
using that is pirated.
Yeah, the actual song used in the whole like in that infamous anti-piracy advertisement thing. Yeah, the song used they pirated the song that they were for an anti-piracy thing that like you can't be any more like you can't make this shit up.
Well, to give them credit, they probably just found it on Napster or something.
Was Napster even a thing back in the mid 2000s? I always thought it was more like iTunes.
I do think that Napster was a thing in the mid 2000s. Like I remember this this channel
Actually-
that was really popular in like the early phase of YouTube. They did an interview in 2019, and in there they just straight up said that for some of the music used in their videos, which was kind of like movie voiceover kind of things, I think those were really popular anywhere in the world. But they used Napster for that. Napster was definitely still a thing. It might have been dying out, but the reality is that iTunes was legal. And Napster was on the verge of legality.
I mean, it was on the verge of being legit.
Yeah.
And then it never
kinda-
happened. But then it never happened. I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, all I know is that I definitely missed the golden age of Napster. I don't recall ever using it, but I was also never really that into music when I was younger. It was only when I
Yeah.
I guess I owned a few CDs when I was younger, but it was really when I started playing stuff like Grand Theft Auto that when I started getting a knack for music. So for some of them, when I just got a smartphone which had music listening functionality alongside other functionality, but that was the one I used the most, I would just do like YouTube to MP3 on some music videos. So a lot of those like things that would be cut out in the CD version would still be there. So yeah, thanks for that, Katy Perry. But I still enjoyed Roar. Eventually I just started using Spotify.
Yeah.
And then Apple Music.
I didn't
And
get
then Spotify again.
I didn't get into music until like after like during like late high school, and then after that when I actually had a taste in taste in music. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. One thing I forgot to mention is that I mentioned that it was kind of Grand Theft Auto that started developing my taste for music, but oddly enough, it was also the radio station from Forza Horizon 2 that kind of got me into listening to music.
So now we have the corn pults, or as I like to call them, the butter catapults or butter pults. It's weaker than the cabbage pults by like half, but occasionally it throws butter at zombies, causing the zombies to be temporarily stunned.
All right. Oh, and so they don't like slip or anything and break their legs?
As much as that would be pretty funny, no, that would also no. That would probably be considered like overpowered, because if zombies slip and fall, then they're dead. Like, these zombies are fucking weak as hell. Like, their limb.
I kind of feel that should be I kind of feel that should have been the special chance instead of stunning them. At least if you're on the roof levels.
I don't know.
Or if you're on the pool in the pool levels and it's just for the 2 rows nearest the pool.
I don't know. I don't really think there really needs any changing whatsoever when it comes to that. I think it's just fine. And besides, the fact that it flings butter like pretty often. The more you have them, honestly. And they cost just as much as cabbage pults. You're not really. See?
Go ahead.
To me, it's not really that big of a deal. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. Per se.
I will admit, it's kind of weird that you're just sticking with the catapults and not just doing the pea shooters with the with the fire stuff.
There's a reason for that, and I just told you, like, at the beginning of this episode, the roof is at an angle. So, and pea shooters fire straight. The peas.
Oh, I never actually got this far. I did not know that.
Yeah, the peas fire.
I thought it was just aesthetic. I thought it was just basically just a look. I did not know that was actually gameplay design.
Yeah, it's actually designed that way, which is actually really cool.
Yeah, that actually is.
Quite.
Now there is an achievement for this game to like use pea shooters on the roof.
Of course there is.
But in order to do that, you'll need to like plant flower pots like near the very front of the arena of the roof.
Yeah, it's like Christ.
So you'll be risking losing plants faster that way. Which that's honestly what achievements should be doing, is like it's rewarding you for going against the grain in such a way that isn't like obtuse and also makes you feel like a genius for figuring out.
I do like it when achievements have little fun like that.
And then not like achievements nowadays, well, to an extent, where you just
I think that achievements for that will reward you for like story progression are fine, but that should be like a quarter of them at most.
Instead of oh, you started the game, here's a trophy. You pause.
You're playing Deadpool, have a second trophy.
Or you're having.
I don't mind the welcome to Dark Souls trophies, where you just get one by dying. I don't mind those.
Yeah, because the game knew that, because that's the game's like bread and butter. It's that it's that they're hard as shit, and you will die a lot.
I just kind of wish they had like trophies for reaching at least like death percentages, death numbers, like die 100 times or something,
or die 42,690 times.
I mean, that's a bit excessive, and I'm gonna be honest, I think that even 100 deaths might be a bit too much for an average Dark Souls playthrough. Like, the games aren't that long, I find. Well, Dark Souls 3 isn't anyway. That's the only one that I've played.
And Dark Souls 2, nobody really liked because of a mechanic that is not as very well favored.
Well, I thought it was the visual design that made people kind of down on Dark Souls 2.
Oh no, it's the fact that you can't quote unquote grind in 2. That people did not like. That enemies would just stop spawning.
Oh.
So
that sounds kind of stupid.
It's good. I will admit, it is good for reaching bosses without, if you want to start fighting boss at full health and full Estus. But I do understand the issue people have with that.
It seems more.
I personally don't mind it. But again, I do see why people don't like it.
Yeah, I also recall people being kind of down on Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, because of it basically locking you into a certain playstyle.
There's no real building in Sekiro, though.
Yeah, and you're essentially just going like against your own muscle memory for Souls games when you play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
I don't know. I know my cousin liked it, but you should know that the only Dark Souls games that I played is Dark Souls 3. And I do have a PS4 copy of Bloodborne. Would be kind of weird if I had a Switch copy of Bloodborne because that doesn't exist. And I've got the
because
PS5.
Sony wants to think that's Sony wants to claim that Bloodborne doesn't exist.
Sony hates Bloodborne.
If it doesn't exist, why can I still buy it for $20 on the PlayStation Store?
No, I mean that in the case of there's no PS5 updated version of it. There's no PC version.
There's no PS4 Pro patch for Bloodborne.
Yeah.
No, nothing.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's just stuck on It's just stuck on like the 1.0 build, which is rare for like.
Okay. It's not the 1.0 build, and if anything, avoid the 1.0 build because holy fuck the loading times. No, it got updated. But they stopped updating it pretty quickly, I think.
They stopped updating it after Old Hunters got released.
Yeah.
Yeah, but either way, no, I've got I played Dark Souls 3, I've got Bloodborne, I've got the Demon Souls remake. I haven't played it yet because I'm waiting to get a PS5. I've already got access to a PS5, but I want to get my own PS5.
I have one,
I got
2, 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro, and it's not the same people, but I also have Nioh. Because Nioh is essentially a Souls-like.
Yeah, I don't count that, but I've got that one too.
I
got that one too because I own it twice.
I only have like OG Demon Souls and Bloodborne.
I also have OG Demon Souls, but I also kind of want to move on to the remake.
That's fair.